Unique character action figure aficionados. This is Sprues and Studs. Welcome on in. And today we are going to be taking a look at, well, yet another unique figure that was released by JoyToy. So we are specifically going to be looking at Arjac Rockfist, the Mountain of a Man, and see exactly what is going on with this monstrous figure. So there's nothing to do except jump right into the review. Unleashing the Mountain of a Man. Find out what's inside. Get a closer look. Now that this Mountain of a Man has been unboxed, we are going to take a deep dive again as usual and take a look at what details JoyToy has imparted on this lovely beast of a man. So on the top you clearly see that there is an anvil with a wolf here, and the anvil actually is a very dark gunmetal gray, and it seems like there is no weathering whatsoever on this thing. However, there are nice runes that are embedded on the top of this anvil. And moving on down, we get to see Arjac's beautiful, rugged face. Look at how detailed he is. Look at how grizzled of a man he is. Look at, actually, to be honest, this is actually really cool. You get to see all these veins that are popping out, and then there are a plethora of highlights on his face, especially on the ridges. The eyes are screened really nicely as well on this action figure. And once you progress further on down, you get to see his very manly beard that is going on. And it appears the beard really doesn't have any kind of highlights. However, there is an interesting rune on Arjac's head. So moving on to the pauldron. Look at this gorgeous looking pauldron of Mr. Fenris right here. So there is clearly a wolf, and appears that on my action figure there might be a paint defect here. And then progressing on to the other pauldron, you get to see a wolf's skull that is embedded on his crux terminatus. Look at all the gorgeous shading that is happening within the skull, especially with the recesses of the teeth, as well as the sunken eye sockets. And then there are runes all over the place. So let's progress on to the midsection of Mr. Rockfist. You have an amulet here too that I did not point out that has wolf's teeth on it. This Terminator armor has a very cool wolf logo that's emblazoned on the front of it. And another thing that I'll point out to you too is that you've noticed that this armor is pockmarked with a bunch of battle damage, which I think is absolutely awesome. So I appreciate the weathering and the damage that has been done to it. And then looking at the arms, there is, again, a plethora of battle damage that you see all over the place, especially with the pitting on the armor. Same thing on the other side as well. So moving on to the middle section of Arjac, you have a wolf's paw, I guess, for the belt buckle. And then on the side of this belt buckle is a forge tong, which is very interesting because it's very soft and pliable plastic. Now, taking a look at Arjac's loincloth, it looks like he has a bunch of stuff that's going on with it. You have his faux hammer that is emblazoned on this thing, and there's obviously an anvil too with a bunch of, I guess, Norse runes on this loincloth. And the loincloth, again, is made of a soft plastic material that has been highlighted. And if you flip this one up, you actually get to see almost the same amulet that Arjac has around his neck. We're going to flip over very quickly to the side of Arjac, and you get to see another wolf's symbol here. And this is the same case on the other side. So now that we have migrated to the bottom portion of Arjac, we have some interesting iconography here. One is of, again, a wolf's skull that's in front of a cross. And then on the other side is a wolf's paw or a bear paw with a nice green gem in it, and an amulet too that is dangling down. And as you can see here, there is plenty of battle damage that is all over the place. Take a look at Arjac's back. Lots of damage, lots of detail, and lots of shading in the recesses of the armor of this action figure. So let's take a look at the Anvil Shield. It is a unique shield that only Arjac has, There is plenty of Norse runes that are all around this shield. In the center of the shield, once again, Foehammer is front and center, as well as the anvil. There are 4 different lightning bolts. This is what the back of the shield looks like, and the shield is actually attached to the action figure, as you can see here by this wire. So we will put down this monstrous body and take a look at Foehammer right here. And Foehammer almost looks like a gigantic version of Thor's hammer, and that's probably the exact look that they are going for. So as I'm flipping and turning this thing around, you get to see more runes that are happening, and I like how these runes look. They look very glowy. So you have the undercoat of silver and the overcoat of translucent blue to give that effect, and the hammer itself has a bunch of weathering that is happening with it, especially on the ends of the hammer, as you can see here. The handle of this hammer has a bunch of shading that's happening with it. And another cool little thing is that you've got this nice flexible strap. All right, so you may be wondering what the heck this ruler is doing over here. And yes, I do listen to the members of the chapter, and I know that you all want to see a size comparison, so I will give you exactly what you want. A size comparison of Mr. Rockfist with his regular Space Marine brethren. So let's take a look at the height of this action figure, and it appears that from head to toe, you're looking at 5.5 inches tall. And to the top of the Terminator armor, it's probably, what, 5 3/4 inches? And Foehammer itself is a fairly long weapon that is as tall as Arjac at 5.5 inches as well. All right, I will put a generic Blood Angel next to Arjac, and you can tell that, well, this guy is a beast of a man. This is a regular Primaris Blood Angel, and the Blood Angel comes up to about Arjac's chest area. So this shows you exactly how much of this man is a mountain. And you also probably want to see a comparison between a regular Terminator compared to Arjac, and I will do that as well. So we have a Blood Angel's Assault Terminator that's next to Arjac, and as you can tell, this Terminator also is very stout in size compared to Arjac. And it appears that from head to toe of this Terminator, which is around 4.5 inches tall, he is still 1 inch taller on the left-hand side. And with that comparison being done and said, let's wrap this one up. Yes, this monstrosity of a transhuman being has finally been reviewed, and let me know what you think about this action figure, whether you're actually going to pick him up or this is going to be a hard pass for you. So I will guide you a little bit on that path. So what do I think about Arjac Rockfist? Well, I think he is an awesome figure. Obviously, he's a unique character, so he has some unique special things going on with him. The first thing being Foehammer. This thing is a really cool thunder hammer. I really like all the glowing runes that are etched on the head of the hammer. And then there's the anvil shield over here that you're seeing. It has a bunch of really cool runes that are also etched around the outside of it. And once again, his face is going to be a very unique sculpt that nobody else is going to have. I really like how, well, gruff and almost Kratos looking he is. And I think that he could also be Kratos for all I care. But yes, this guy is really cool in that he also has all this different damage that is on his Terminator armor, especially the pitting on it, which is very, very unique. I also like the pauldrons as well. There's so many things that I like about this action figure that I think JoyToy did a very good job with it. There is one slight critique that I'll have to put in this action figure, and it's that the anvil shield is actually attached to the action figure. I would have actually preferred it if the wires weren't attached to the shield, so you can take it off and put it back on without an issue. But aside from that, This guy's a pretty badass figure, and I actually would recommend you to pick this guy up. So this is Sprues and Studs. Thank you again for tuning into my reviews every single week. I appreciate your viewership as well as your support. And for the members of the chapter, you guys, what can I say, man? You are definitely making this channel grow, and I appreciate each and every single one of you. Once again, for those unsubscribers, this is the exact content that you're going to be getting. Real in-depth, nitty-gritty looks at these action figures where I spend more than your average reviewer on. And if you are interested in picking up this figure, please click on the link below for some discount codes and whatnot. And as usual, I will see you all in the next one.